Good afternoon, everybody, on this great and bright Thursday. I shouldn't say bright. It's been raining here for, I don't know, 4 or 5 days. And it's cold. Yeah, I know. But when you're used to that really hot weather and then it drops off into the 50s, it's cold. And that rain is cold. So, yeah, it's cold here. No, haven't turned the heat on yet, but it gets a little cold. I'm gonna do something that I haven't done in a while, and that is a complete tutorial on how to do something. And I'm gonna be showing you a little bit different on the normal, what they call the disappearing 9-patch. And so I'll pause the camera and put the camera over here on the table so you can see what I'm doing. With this, let me move my little needle book here. With this 9-patch, you're going to need 9 squares. The squares I'm using are all 5-inch. But you don't have to. And along with those, I'll be showing you how to make 2 pinwheels. As this particular block, you need 5 colored squares, 2, I'm using white, 2 white ones, and 2 pinwheels. So I'll be showing you how I make my pinwheels. And I'm making 4 at a time. You don't have to, but you can. Just using white. Let me pick, and I just cut a bunch of squares. There's no right or wrong to the squares. Let me see which ones I want. I thought I had picked them already, but maybe I didn't. I just had a bunch of squares, and I cut some more squares. I thought I had used. And as you can see, this is very much, well, not technically live, but it is live, kind of, sort of. Yes, these are scraps, and I'm sorry for those that aren't much into scraps. Now, technically, these aren't really scraps. These are, there it is. I'm going to use my petites in here. Sorry, I still got a bad cough. So you have to bear with me. Oops, there's another one. Okay, let's go see. Let's go pull. Okay. Let's put this pile up here. Okay. Oops, come back here. Let's make this pretty 9-patch out of my other 2 white ones. Let's make this one out of the petites. Let's see what she's gonna look like. Because this is how the block will be laid out. Other than you're gonna have 2 pinwheels that go opposite, and then 2 white squares or 2 light squares. It don't really matter which. Let's see, we got yellow. Let's move this one back over here. Move this so you can actually see it. Okay. Yeah, this is how I do my processing. think about orange and there's the blue. Orange is too close to that one. I don't know. I think I like a purple. The purple one in the center. Purple. And then we'll do orange here. And blue here. Okay. And again, these colors are batiks. Then what I'm going to do is, I did locate some other batiks that I had. And let's make the corners, our corner pieces, from, and yes, as you can see, these are batiks too. There. And that's our nine blocks. Let's put these back over here. Then what we're going to do, let's move these guys over here. And these particular ones are, I believe I said at the beginning, I'm using 5-inch squares. You don't have to. You can use 10-inch squares, or not 10-inch squares, that would be really big. But you could use 3-inch, 4-inch, however you want to do it, as long as you remember you're making pinwheels, 4 pinwheels. And how you do that is you choose your background, whatever color you want your other one to be. You put these two pieces really need to be the same size, whatever you do. And then you're going to sew all I'm going to put the white on top. Okay. You could actually chain these things together. So they could be done at the same time. And but you're going to sew all the way around these 4 pieces, these 2 pieces. So let me sew them real quick. Try to get them. Just really quick. You don't have to sew off the end, but you can. I usually end up sewing off the end, even if I don't want to. Come on. Get back under the presser foot. I tried to get it on that corner. No. Stop that. Always try to backstitch at the beginning and ending of whatever I'm doing. Unless I'm chain stitching and then there's no reason to. Or well, I still backstitch at the beginning and ending. Real quick way to make 4 half square triangles. Okay, right here. Get over there where you belong. Then what you're going to do, let me move these guys over so I don't end up cutting them apart accidentally. You're going to cut these squares this way and this way. So it would be like, you know, if it's not perfect, it's okay, because you're going to square them and I can't see across that white. You're just going to cut them corner to corner. The best you can, if your vision's like mine, and you get it as close as you can. Well, if they come apart, just, you know, stick them back together the best you can, because all you're after is this point to point. Come on, get back together. That's why I use the white as my guide, because I can see the white a little bit better than I can the color sometimes. So I just use the white. And you end up with 4 half square triangles. So let's get the other one cut. And move this one completely out of the way. Get back together. You don't like cooperating, so I end up talking to myself. That's straight. Okay, now we have our 2 corners. Okay. And what I do with these, and this is, you know, really strange way to do it, so that I don't have to mess with those little dog ear things. I stack them in my hand like this, hold on to them, and just cut those corners off. Just don't cut through your stitches. I just cut the corners off really quick. You don't have to mess with it. You just need to be careful so you don't cut the other one in front of it. And you get all these little cool little pieces. No, I don't sew them together, but I do use them as stuffing or whatever. I don't throw them away at all. I use them as stuffing. Or they make cool little pieces that you can stick down if you're doing like if you're doing a scenery. They work great for sticking them down. It seems strange to keep little things like this, but they do come in handy. Sometimes you might need just a tiny bit, a tiny piece, and they work great for that. Stuff like if you do any slow stitching, things like that, they do work for that. So I just put them in my, I have a container down here that all my scraps go in. Okay. And you can do, however, I'm not gonna iron these, but you can iron them to the dark or open them. I do them both ways. Let's get these guys done, because we're gonna make a pinwheel out of these. If I can get it open. You just gotta also be careful when you're doing half square triangles this way, that you do end up on the bias, and so just be careful and don't stretch them. Yeah, I say that. Okay, so we're gonna make a pinwheel, and I'm always directionally challenged, so I have to play with it sometimes to get them the right way. White's on top. There we go. And what's on top. So there's one pinwheel. And with these ones, before I sewed them together, I cut these down to 2 3/4 of an inch. That way when the blocks are sewed together, they're still 5 inches. So you're going to have one pinwheel in this corner and a pinwheel in the other corner. I'm going to move these over a little bit so the pinwheel doesn't fall off. And I'm not going to show you sewing all this together. I have some other ones that I've done. And so yes, so that I could show you. And if you're like directionally challenged like me, I always have a pinwheel that I just keep, because you do want to keep the pinwheel itself going in the same direction. But again, I trim these. I will trim them to 2 3/4 of an inch and then sew them together. And that should make a 5-inch square, because these are 5-inch. Or if you're using 4-inch or 3-inch, you just need to make your pinwheel block that same as this, or whatever size your pinwheel is, cut these blocks to match it. That's all you're after. You just want to match your pinwheel, the size of your pinwheel, and it will look like this. So when it's sewed together, let me get these picked up. Get one that I've sewn together. Okay, here's a good one. Okay. And you end up with something like this. You have your 2 pinwheels on thing together. Now, I'm going to choose that one. That one's kind of off in the center. I might choose a different one. What does this one look like? So it's so off, I hope. Okay, here's one. Yeah, sometimes my eyes are just blah blah blah, and I don't see so good. What you're trying to has those seams together. If they don't, they don't. So what you're after here is you're after. Now, if you're using a 5-inch block or whatever, all you're after is you're going to cut this block in half this way, and then you turn it and you'll cut it in half again this way. Whatever size that ends up being. This one is, looks like 4 1/4, but what I do is, instead of measuring it that way, I put on this side, like this block is 4 1/2, so that means each side will hit the 1/4 mark on my mat. And I actually marked my ruler. Oh, it's fading. I marked my ruler, so it should be about 2 1/2, 2 and whatever that is, 2 1/4 inches. But what I do is I have it marked on my sometimes sometimes I have a hard time seeing that line. I'm going to just do it this way. Measure it on the 12. It just doesn't seem like it's very straight. I guess it is. It seems like, okay. We're going to mark this and hopefully it'll stay straight because I'm not straight with my table. There we go. And if it's not perfect, it's fine. And you're just going to cut that. Okay. And turn the whole thing, unless you have one of those turning mat type things. Do the same thing. Stuff back in the middle again. And mind you, I'm sure most of you can do this a little more exact than I can. And sometimes my eyes cooperate and sometimes no, they don't. And that's close enough. It's just basically cutting them in half. And again, if it's not perfect, okay, so you end up with 4 pieces like this. Let me turn this so this pinwheel's back. No, it doesn't have to be. You just want one opposite. Now what you're going to do is the 2 pieces where you have either white or whatever color you're using, you're just going to face until they go to the center. The 2 white pieces in the center. And there's the block. That's what, and then you sew it together. And then after you sew it together, you get, let me put these back. Ugh. There's this one. Of course, I'll get this one sewed together. But I'm going to put it back like this way. Let me get these out of the way. And here's the one sewed together. That one's got some batiks in it, others not. This is what happens when you do it scrappy like that. Well, technically it's, let's see, let's put you guys this way. And this is what your blocks are going to look like. See how that goes? Or you could turn it to where it goes like this if you wanted to. So that you have your 2 pinwheels come together. And yeah, I know my table's not quite big enough, but it goes like this. And let me get 2 more. And I want the yellows together like that. I have that pinwheel like that. And my table's not very big here. It works for what I need it to do. Kind of, sort of, sometimes. And let's choose another one that I have. Here's a good one. Oh yes, this is a really good one. Okay. And that's what you have. So you end up with this a really cool design. And so when you put the blocks together, if you do it this way, you're just going to take this one, and then you'll just turn the block. Or again, you could do this the same way, but I like this way. You're turning the block each time, and then when you turn the block again, you'll have this one. And it just creates a, or you can do it so the 4 blocks together will always create this. It just creates a unique thing. This wasn't done on purpose, but it ended up being that way. It creates, I don't know, I guess I call it, it's an optical illusion. Well, I don't know if it's that. It just creates a different type of thing, and you could use your scraps up. And what's strange is, looking at the block like this, it doesn't look like that it was put together with a 9 patch. Even though these are half square triangles, it's still considered a 9 patch because there's 9 of them. But that's the block, and I haven't decided how many of these so far. I have like 20 of them put together, or something like that. But I haven't decided if I'm going to stop with 20. I might not. Which, if I do 20, I'll do 4 across and 5 down. Or I may do more than 20, which is more than likely. I'll be doing more than 20. And that will be the last, well, for a little bit. I'm going to switch gears and go back to doing what I used to do all the time, and I enjoyed it. I just don't know if my hands will handle it, but I'm fixing to find out. And then I'm going to go back into doing what is called slow stitching. And it's just, and this particular one, I had the fabric many moons ago. The fabric is old. It's really old. And this is what it looks like. And I had this fabric prepared. Slow stitching is a little bit different than normal, because with slow stitching, I put my needle in this one. You're using embroidery floss and putting different stitch designs and making it sort of different. And let me see if you can see. There you go. Now you can see what this is. It's peacocks. In case anyone didn't know, I love peacocks. They're a beautiful bird. I have a fascination for peacocks. You can do various things. I will be putting other pieces of fabric on here. Maybe this particular piece was done, I don't even know when it was done. It's just so old. It's super old. It's really old. But when you do slow stitching, you want the frayed part of it. Like I frayed this one. It doesn't have, this is what you want, this frayed stuff. And I love this fabric. But I'm going to be making other ones, and I put it over there, to where I'll be putting fabric on there and then ripping pieces of fabric, because I'm going to create where's my other one? I have the pieces cut out that I'm going to be using this, and I'll draw this peacock on there and then hand sew different things for the peacock. This particular peacock, for his tail, I will be putting things like sequins on there, and the same with this peacock. I will have parts of this be done with French knots, parts of it be done with various different stitches. I'm not going to use one specific stitch, and it's just, I'm going to use this to get back into hand sewing because it's what I want to do. I mean, I enjoy sewing with the sewing machine, don't get me wrong. I just want to get back into something that's just relaxing, no stress, because there's no, with sew stitching, there is no, oh, I need to make the seams perfect, or, oh no, this point's not there. None of that is there with sew stitching. In fact, it's more on the lines of, if the lines are not even, that's what it's supposed to be. There's no specifics to it. There's nothing. There's just doing what you want it to feel like, because it will be like bumpy. It will have stuff to it. And if you want to have more of a puffiness to it when you do the sewing, I'm going to have this fleece behind it, and I will be sewing through the fleece. And then I'll put a backing on it, and this will become a wall hanging. But that is what I'm going to be doing. And as soon as, well, I'm actually starting this now. I have all the other blocks. Well, I have 20 blocks for that other quilt, but I may make more, because like I said, I have that whole stack of 5-inch squares that I just cut. I was bored one day and it's like, you know what, I'm going to cut my things into 5-inch squares so I have some, just because there's so many things that are done, and you're starting with the 5-inch squares, which is a turn pack, even though mine don't really go together as a turn pack. Mine are different colors, different designs, batiks to who knows what. So, but just wanted to put this video out so you could see what I was up to. And everybody, please remember, be kind, be nice to everybody, and go out there and enjoy what you do. Enjoy whatever it is, whatever project you're going to do. Enjoy what you're doing, and remember, shut out all the noise of the world and bring in that positive stuff. And again, thank you everybody for watching my videos. I will go live. My biggest issue is now is my voice starts failing, and then I'll start coughing. So that's it. That's an issue with me. Or my lovely internet decides, oh, we're going to do some updates. There's no internet. So I could just see it. I'd be in the middle of a live and the internet shut down. So that's the biggest reason I haven't gone live again. But I'm going to, because I need to. I like the interactions with the lives. There's just something about that interaction that it's amazing, because you get direct feedback instead of, okay, let's wait and see if someone makes a comment. So, but on that one, I will talk to everybody later, and I will get back to the lives as I was watching Katie and Jess and Andy. And so, talk to you later, everybody. Bye-bye.